Welcome to the Heal Your Life Talk Radio Show. I am Victoria Johnson from victoriajohnson.org, your host and Heal Your Life Workshop teacher trainer and Heal Your Life coach trainer in Canada. I am the author of the best-selling book, Do That and Then Some, Transform Feelings of Less Than to More Than Enough, based on the teachings of Louise Hay, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and many more great teachers, authors, and thought leaders. Tune in for tips on how to heal your life now with power statements, affirmations, visualizations, reflection time, and real life stories with real life people who have overcome adversity. Learn to transform your thoughts and words. Learn to love yourself even more based on the techniques of Louise Hay, and you can heal your life. We will be ending today's Heal Your Life Talk Radio Show with specific power statements, affirmations, and treatments to help you heal your life based on what we have talked about on the show. So stay tuned to change your thoughts and heal your life even more. As Louise Hay often said, the point of power is in the present moment. So let's get started.
Okay, welcome to everyone. We are so excited that you're here to learn more about the Heal Your Life Workshop Leader Training in Victoria, Canada next year. And because you're on this webinar, we know that you are a fan of Louise Hay's work, and so we're so excited that you want to take that enthusiasm to the next step and be able to share the work with other people. My name is Dr. Patricia Crane. I was very privileged to study personally with Louise, and it's a long story. I'll tell you a little more later, but it evolved into the training program that we're in now. So I'd like to introduce, first of all, Victoria Johnson. And Victoria is an absolute enthusiastic and amazing woman who's so dedicated to Louise's work. She trained as a workshop leader and then as a coach in 2012. And her commitment and everything that she has shared led to us authorizing her as one of the Heal Your Life Workshop Leader and Coach trainers and team trainers, actually, for Canada. So welcome, Victoria.
Thank you so much. And what a privilege it is to be carrying this work forward.
It is. And then I'd like to introduce Chris Banas. And Chris, prior to the Heal Your Life work, was, and I guess still works as a certified herbalist.
Yeah.
And was working with clients individually and began to notice, because he is so brilliant, the mind-body connection. And began investigating that to help his clients more, and ultimately came to Louise's work. And so he is now one of the trained Heal Your Life Workshop leaders and coaches. And he happens to be married to Victoria. So isn't that a lovely romantic story? And then I'd like to introduce Rachel Wald. And Rachel will be one of the assistants at the upcoming training. She is also a workshop leader and coach for the Heal Your Life work. She found this work at a challenging time during her life, which is something we very often hear. And her passion for sharing it with others and healing others led her to the training. And she is also going to be assisting and leading some beautiful meditations at the training. So we're very excited to have Rachel on the call as well. Thank you. And we always like to start with a reading from our favorite author. So I'm going to ask Victoria to do that now. Go ahead.
Thank you. So my reading is from the book, You Can Heal Your Life, and it's my absolute favorite passage. My book opens up to it automatically. It's a little longer, but I know you'll enjoy it. So if you're able to, if you're not driving, please go ahead and close your eyes. Otherwise, just listen. Let's take a nice deep breath. Nice and relaxed. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I live in harmony and balance with everyone I know. Deep at the center of my being, there is an infinite well of love. I now allow this love to flow to the surface. It fills my heart, my body, my mind, my consciousness, my very being, and it radiates out from me in all directions and returns to me multiplied. The more love I use and give, the more love I have to give. The supply is endless. The use of love makes me feel good. It is an expression of my inner joy. I love myself, therefore I lovingly take care of my body. I lovingly feed it nourishing foods and beverages. I lovingly groom it and dress it, and my body lovingly responds to me with vibrant health and energy. I love myself, therefore I work at a job I truly enjoy doing, one that uses my creative talents and abilities, working with and for people I love and who love me, and earning a good income. I love myself, therefore I behave and think in a loving way, and to all people, for I know that which I give out returns to me multiplied. I only attract loving people into my world, for they are a mirror of what I am. And so it is.
And so it is.
So
And
good.
Louise's words are just always so inspiring. You know, you can open the book almost to any page and read something that just gives you that little gem that you need for the day. So I don't have it in front of me now, but I often show people my book that was the original one I got when she first published it, and it's held together with a rubber band. And of course, I do have some more books that I can read a little more easily now, but that's my original one. I'm keeping it. So just a little background about the training. Like a lot of people, I found Louise's Heal Your Body book first, and of course was absolutely amazed at how she put together the physical symptoms, the possible emotional causes, metaphysical causes, and then the affirmations, and how right on. And everybody's nodding. The others are nodding on here because we've all experienced that. And so when the You Can Heal Your Life book came out, I'm sure I was one of the first people to buy it and just absolutely loved it. Thought it was really, up to that time, everything I'd read, and even now, the best book I'd ever read that brought together the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual in such a beautiful way. And so I don't know that I really ever thought about, gee, I'd love to meet her, but I was guided to a breakfast meeting a couple of years later and met her, got on her mailing list, and went to the very first week-long intensive that Louise ever held. Now, fast forward a few more years, and I was on staff with her at the intensives, and then she was on the Oprah Winfrey Show the first time. And of course, when Oprah holds up a book, it's a bestseller overnight. So the Hay House phones were ringing off the hook. Louise was very busy. So she asked myself and a few others who had been assisting her at the intensives if we would like to start leading the 2-day Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop that Victoria will be teaching and sharing with you. And you will be able to teach after the training as well. Very powerful. It's been experienced by many thousands of people worldwide and helped them transform their lives at this point, and many more to come, because the work is timeless. That's something that's so wonderful about Louise's work. It's not going to go out of style, because as human beings, we will always need that physical, emotional, mental, spiritual work. So anyway, the phones were ringing off the hook at Hay House, and the others and myself that Louise asked if we would lead the workshop. Of course, we said, what? Yes. We were so excited about it. We thought this was so amazing. And ultimately, people who came to those 2-day workshops started saying, can you train us to do this? We want to share this with other people. It's so powerful. And so that's how the training started back in 1995. So here we are 24 years later, and there are many, many hundreds, thousands of Heal Your Life workshop leaders around the world. We have in 71 countries and 41 U.S. states. So it's pretty amazing. Now, we only have 23 trainers like Victoria, because we choose our trainers very carefully, and they also really have to have a lot of experience leading the work, because it just really is so powerful that they have to also experience their inner healing as well, and also be able to share it in a very powerful outer way. So I'm delighted again to introduce Victoria and ask her to share more about her background and just how she came to Louise's work and how it's benefited her.
Oh, thank you. I love to share about how I came into Louise's work, but also just want to comment, I love watching the transformation with people as they go through the workshop that you were just talking about. It is such a privilege and one of the most amazing things about what it is that I get to do for a living. And I know that you'll enjoy it too as a workshop teacher and experiencing it yourself at the training. So how I first got involved with Louise's work was someone actually gave me the book in the 1980s. It was a fellow that I had been dating's mother, who apparently thought I needed it, and thank goodness she did. And so it really resonated with me because I had been raised in a traditional spiritual home where my mother was a pastor of a church, and I went to church, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. And even as a young child, I remember it not quite resonating 100% with me. And I had all this guilt and shame and really felt bad about myself because it just wasn't fitting for me. And I thought, what's wrong with me? And I read this book and thought, oh my gosh, this is my language. This is what I've been feeling all of these years. And, this is more in line with my belief system. And I have a lot of respect for my upbringing and everything, but I knew that there was more love and more compassion and forgiveness and all of those things out there that were available to us. And Louise presented them so beautifully in the book that I was hooked from there on in. I knew that this was my tribe and where I wanted to be, and it really has healed my life.
Fantastic, thank you. I also wanted to mention, I forgot in the intro bio, that Victoria is also the Amazon bestseller, a selling author of, and I'm going to read it because it's a little long for title, Do That and Then Some, Transform Feelings of Less Than to More Than Enough, and you've just described it beautifully, so thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And my book is based on Louise's work, so it's a huge thank you to Louise as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so on to Chris. If you'd like to share a bit more with us as well.
Sure. As Patricia mentioned before, I've been a certified herbalist for many years and health coaching at the same time. And I noticed over the years that people, I would offer all the same treatments with natural health products, and some would do well and some wouldn't do so well. And on occasion, someone would pop in with a Louise book and they would say, my life has changed. And I'm like, what is going on? And so that led me onto the path of learning about Louise to help my clients and patients. But I was also at a time when I was in my 40s and I was feeling very lost, very unhappy. And I continued to seek external validation in thinking that would make me happy, but didn't. And so going through the transformation with Louise's books, this is a little known fact, but Victoria's and mine's second date, she took me to a 2-day intensive workshop. And for me, what really resonated with learning about Louise's work, that I am enough. And that's something I just did not get it. I didn't understand. And after I went to that first 2-day workshop, it literally transformed my life. And then the following spring, I took the training to be the workshop teacher and the coaching as well. And it was just an unbelievable experience to be open in that environment, to be vulnerable, to learn that you are enough, and you're making these relationships with these people. And I want to say a community, but it really becomes more of a family because they are there through that whole process, but also till this day, we're in constant communication. And the training for myself, I was able to take what I learned for myself personally, but also from that business aspect, I was able to virtually the next day incorporate that into my work with my clients and patients. And it literally changed my life.
Fabulous. Thank you. Okay, Rachel.
Hey, everyone. I had one of Louise Hay's books. I'm not sure how I got it. I believe my sister gave it to me. And after many years of struggling with, internal demons and self-esteem issues and not feeling that I belonged, had no purpose, I had a major life crisis occur, and I stumbled upon Miss Victoria one day. I feel blessed and honored that I spent that first week in Calgary with her last year, and what an honor it was to actually see her live and in action. Words can't describe how powerful she is, leading us through some of the challenges that may come up during your workshop. All of us are humans and we all come with trauma and reasons why. So my hat goes out to her. She's extremely special to me. my personal experience while attending the Heal Your Life training with Victoria was not only transformational for me, but it was profound for deeper healing and the ability to rise above and say, I do matter, much like what Chris has said. The courage and the confidence and the capabilities that were always there, but you just didn't realize, become uncovered during the workshop. And it's just an unforgettable experience that that feeling will never leave me. And with the formats of the workshops that create such a flow of conversations and exercises, that something amazing happens when we share our experiences safely and honestly. It instills a bond shared that only can be created within a group or a circle of trust and vulnerability shared by one another. And Victoria really encompasses that very well for us. And since that amazing experience, I've been humbled and so grateful that I've watched some of my workshop attendees reach that goal or find them some healing space within that creates that bond between us. And just to see it happen is such a beautiful thing. Yeah. It's amazing when you can see your clients utilize the tools that they get from attending a Heal Your Life workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. And I just want to say, for those of you who are with us on the webinar, if you click on chat, which is right underneath your window there with us, you can go ahead and put something in the chat. And I asked on there, where are you from? Just to let people know, or let us know where you're from. And I just want to follow up on a few of the things that have been said, because, Chris talked about the Heal Your Life family, and that's something that we hear all the time, that people feel like they found their tribe, their real family, and that they can be so connected with people that they've been with, just for a week. And sometimes they feel really connected just in the first couple of days, because the 2-day workshop is so powerful. And also with Rachel talking about, as a workshop leader and coach with Heal Your Life, that you experience the transformations that people have, and it is mind-blowing. So it's very powerful work. And, these are the kinds of comments that we get just from those here on the webinar sharing, but we get them every day. We get testimonials every day coming into email and all over from the people who are doing the work out there. And the other thing is that as people find that they go deeper within their own self, that so much in their own life changes, and that when you are a workshop leader, that you're continuing to learn as you go forward with leading the workshops, because each exercise helps you deepen your own understanding of the work and of yourself and of other people. So, it's an ongoing process, and that's something else that is ongoing, and we're going to talk more about this later, but we don't just wave you out the door at the end of a training and say, hi, bye, have a nice life, And I say that because there are a lot of trainings that do that. And we are so committed, and I know Victoria and Chris and Rachel and the others that will be coming, they're so committed to sharing Louise's work, that we offer a lot of follow-up afterwards, because we really want you to get out there and start changing the world one heart at a time, one workshop group at a time, however it is that you end up sharing the work. But, we are committed to helping people really get out there and share it. And we know that although Louise is passed on in physical form, she's absolutely with us in spirit, and people can often really feel that energy of her unconditional love at the training. So we know that she is still, very much with us.
Yeah.
And thank you for those who are saying hello as well from Iran. Oh, great. Wonderful. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to Victoria at this point, and if you will just give an overview of the training week. And I will say that you have a gorgeous hotel.
I love it.
And it's important to say this, because it needs to be an experience where you're feeling nurtured in mind, body, and spirit. And that's the kind of environment that we want. And it's also one of the reasons that we do require people to train in person. It's the energy of the group coming together that's a part of the whole process. And it's just not something that we can recreate online when we're not physically connected.
Right. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so Victoria, share more about the training in the week. And
I sure will. Please excuse me for looking down at my notes, but I don't want to miss anything for anyone. First of all, I chose Canada's warmest city and a beautiful oceanfront hotel. The meeting rooms are oceanfront. For the first week, the workshop teacher training, the coach training the following week will be held in the penthouse with 360-degree views of the ocean and Inner Harbor, just spectacular. But what's really exciting is that this training, like Patricia says, allows you to connect on all different levels. We want you to feel that your soul is nurtured. We want you to feel that you're growing and that you're learning, but also that your self-care is there. So this hotel is situated along a walkway, so you can do oceanfront walks in the morning or on your lunch break, that kind of thing as well. There's a labyrinth nearby. We're going to be spending some time at a labyrinth one day, which is going to be amazing. It's always a beautiful experience, and it's just walking distance as well. I'm going to tell you a little bit about logistics before I go into the program. I want to let you know that you can take a shuttle from the airport. It's about a half an hour and costs about $20, and they take you door to door. It's a small airport in Victoria, easy to fly into, but what I'm saying is you don't have to worry about walking 5 miles through the airport. Just catch that airport shuttle to the hotel, and the hotel has a cute little PT Cruiser that they have all decorated up, that they will take you to the grocery store, they'll take you to restaurants, to different tourist places that you want to see, and so on, and that's all included. Okay, so you'll be well taken care of in every way, like Patricia was saying. As far as the week goes, we start on Saturday, Saturday, March 21st at 4 p.m. And we go to the following Saturday, March 28th at noon. And I just want to say during that time, what we do is the first evening we do registration, and we have a welcoming reception, as well as we go through some introductions and really getting you set up for things. And during that circle, I tell you, these people are going to be within 48 hours, your deepest confidants and closest friends. And people look at me like, is she serious? But I am serious. These are you will grow to love that circle of friends, and the strength of that circle is just amazing. So that is our opening circle. The next 2 days, we go straight into a workshop format where you get to experience the workshop like a participant, which is an amazing experience. So I will be teaching with Chris and Rachel, and we're going to take you through an actual 2-day workshop, having you have that participant experience. So you can have your own personal development and growth through that time. And I know some of us think, I've been doing this for 20 years, and let me assure you, there's always another layer to uncover in this beautiful safe space where it's a room full of people who, like you, are committed to helping other people to heal their lives, so you can really go deep and in this safe space. And there's so much healing. The rest of the week, we go through learning how to do up to 14 different workshops based on your material. We do a day with some marketing as well. I'd like to give you a really comprehensive marketing plan, really give you the best opportunity going forward. And then on that last Saturday, really celebrating everything that you've done throughout the week and the connections that you've made with the other people and the sharing and the warmth. And there's always a lot of Kleenex used as we say goodbye to one another in the physical presence. But we do keep in touch through Facebook groups, through regular webinars that I host. And I know that it is something that you'll be able to draw on for the rest of your life. And when you leave that training, you can absolutely go home and start. I actually, when I went to my training with Patricia back in 2012, I had one scheduled, a 2-day scheduled for 2 weeks later, and was ready to go. Patricia made sure I was ready to go. I will make sure that you are ready to go. And we'll just take care of you and support you that way as well. You'll love working with Chris and with Rachel. They bring a beautiful balance and are there to support you and to assist you in any way they can. And before I turn the floor back over to Patricia, I just want to give you an example. I've got Post-it notes all over mine, but this is an example of the size of the manual that you get. And this is for the first week, the workshop teacher training. For those who decide to stay on for the teen training, there's another manual. And for the coach training, there's another manual. So I hope that you get the idea here that you are getting a lot of content, and everything that is given to you will be shown to you. And again, I'm always here as a resource for you going forward.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you for showing the manuals. They are very comprehensive. You know?
They are.
We do some updating every once in a while if there's something else we want to add in or clarify or whatever. And I will say, just for those of you who are on the webinar and also listening to it later, there's a variety of ways that you can actually share this work. So you get 2 full manuals. You get the 2-day manual that in the 2-day workshop that we're talking about, and you also get a manual for a 10-week study group. And you can choose out of those, you can actually lead up to 14 different workshops that I've identified, and they're probably even more than that. But, each one of the sessions in the 10-week study group, you can actually do as a 3-hour workshop all by itself. And the reason I think that's important for you is because based on your lifestyle and everything that's going on with you and what your other commitments are, a whole weekend workshop to offer may or may not be the best way for you to go. And we don't require that. Everybody gets so excited after they experience it and they've had so much healing from it that they want to go out and teach it. But if it fits your personal life better, that you could do some 3-hour workshops, that's absolutely fine. Or if the 10-week study group, once a week for 10 weeks works better for you, Victoria will be going through all of that with you at the training. But just so you know, there really are a variety of ways that you can share the work and fit it in with whatever other work you're doing right now or other commitments that you might be having. So that's one thing that's really important. And it would be great if anybody has any questions that you want to ask. I've got a couple that I'm going to bring up, but feel free to post any questions on the chat that we can answer. And one of the questions is always about the cost. And Victoria, I know you were offering an extra discount on the deposit for people on the webinar and listening to it. So
yes.
Go ahead and just talk about the cost and what that includes, and also how they're going to get this extra discount.
Okay, that sounds great. So first of all, I added just today a little tab, a little Buy Now tab onto the website. The website is www.thetraining.ca. So if you go there under Deposit Register, you'll see a little Buy Now button with some italicized writing, and that's where you would make your deposit. And instead of your deposit being $8.95, it's going to be $7.95. Now, the total cost of the course is $48.95, so $4,895. I'm offering a discount right now of $300, bringing that to $45.95. So effectively, with your $100 off your deposit, it makes it $44.95. If you are from another country, you don't need to worry about the sales tax or anything like that. It is just strictly that amount, $44.95. In Canada here, of course, we pay the GST. And the Canadian dollar is also very attractive for many people because it offers great value and saves you a lot of money coming to the training here in Canada, which we love to support our international students. We've had students come from many different places in the world, and they bring more than just their location. They bring their culture, they bring their traditions, they bring their points of view. And one of the most magical things about that is it doesn't seem to matter where people come from. We are all the same. And we all have just this love and this desire to go out and help others, to heal their lives, to make a difference. I think that's the burning desire in so many people from all around the world, is to make a difference. And when we go back into the exercises where maybe we look into some situations where we need to do some forgiveness work, or maybe some work on our self-esteem, again, no matter where people come from around the world, we all have these same feelings. So know that although we are coming from an international group, we are all united.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there was another question on here about anything for students. Is there something, I think the question is if there's a difference in cost for students.
Okay, so I do have a couple of scholarships available. And so what you would do is just email me My email is victoria@thetraining.ca. And the scholarship amount is usually enough to help with all of those extra expenses that a person would have. So it's about $500. And again, just go ahead and email me. Let me know your desire for that scholarship and why it is you need it. And then hopefully I can fit you into that plan as well. I noticed there's another question about the website. And again, the website is www.thetraining.ca.
And I just posted that too.
Yes, I see that. Thank you, Patricia.
Posted that.
I also want to mention that this hotel has a beautiful world-renowned Blue Crab restaurant, which is going to be serving our hot lunches, which are included every day. So really all you're worried about for food would be, your muffin or whatever in the morning that you like to have. And in the evening time, often people like to go out as a group and just, spend that time socializing together. Other people like to just go back and eat in their room or perhaps have dinner alone, exploring the city. Whatever works for you is totally great with us. We have a little surprise planned for you one night of the training. So that night we'll be committed to staying at the hotel and enjoying our surprise. And again, the first night is the welcome reception. So we'll take good care of you there as well.
Great, yeah. And just again, commenting on something you said, Victoria, about, all the different cultures that come together. I mean, it's generally a very international training. Mm-hmm. And I think part of the brilliance of Louise's work is that it does speak to the very essence of everyone. It's not culturally bound because everyone's experienced a lot of these feelings and issues and stuff growing up. And that's why her book has been translated into 30 plus languages and sold 55 million copies.
Yes.
Read 60 million recently. So, it continues to sell well, but I think that's really important. And what's great is, with the international groups that come together, then you do get to learn about other cultures and some of the things that have gone on with them. And it's very powerful that way as well. Yeah.
Yes, it really is. It's such a privilege.
Okay, and keep asking any questions. We are happy again to answer. And one of them that isn't on there at this point, but I get this one a lot, is because I know Victoria has the coach training right after the teacher training, the workshop leader training as well, is what's the difference between a workshop leader and a coach? Well,
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then you can add in too. The fairly clear difference is that as a workshop leader, you're doing groups, variety of sizes. The general size group for people starting out is about 8 to 12 people, but that certainly increases over time. And then as a coach, you're working one-to-one. But the way I like to explain it a little bit differently is as a workshop leader, you've got one of those manuals that Victoria held up. And not that we expect you to sit there and read the script or anything, you're bringing in your own stories, your own flavor with it, but you have a script with exercises that takes you step by step through the workshop with your attendees. So you're setting the agenda as the workshop leader. When you're a coach, your client sets the agenda. So your client comes in and tells you what they need. And then you are using all of the Heal Your Life tools and exercises to bring together in a way that your client needs. And it's not in the order that you would be doing it as a workshop leader. So I think that's a really good way to think of it as a coach, that, you're being a lot more flexible and you're bringing in the techniques in different ways and the exercises in different ways that your client needs.
Yes. One thing that I really like about it too is that as a coach, I very often go back to my manual from the workshop teacher and use the exercises from here. So they really complement each other well. You'll find that as a coach, you get coaching clients from your workshops, and as a workshop teacher, bear with me. Can somebody help me out here? It's okay. I'm going to start that again. So as a coach, you get clients from your workshops,
Right.
and as a workshop teacher, you
Yeah.
get coaching clients, and those two go together really well.
Mhm.
And just so you know, that's a little flash of what happens at the training. I
Yes.
talk all over myself and get ahead of myself, and then I stop and reel it in. So that was real life, people.
But that's really an important point, and I have to say that's actually how I built my business, is the combination of the workshops and the coaching, because they do really cross feed each other. And people like to come to a workshop to get to know you before they sign up for coaching, and the coaches can use the workshop. So the coaching
Yes.
clients, yeah. So it really does build your business.
And I do a really great discount for people who want to come to both back to back.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's a very significant discount. So I would love for them to give me a call. My number is 780-228-1238. 780-228-1238, and we can talk about that combined discount. But I usually run $79.95 for the two together when you do them back to back. So there is a bit of a time commitment from you there, but it is an amazing experience as well. And I make sure that you get everything you need to be well rested and to have the endurance to make it through that marathon with me.
And Victoria, why don't you go ahead and put your phone number and also your email address just in the chat so they can see it.
Sure.
And then let me just stop and see if Rachel or Chris would like to add anything before I go into the licensing program. So Chris or Rachel, anything else you would like to add at this point?
Sure. It's interesting, both Patricia and Victoria mentioned about doing that 2-day intensive during that first week to become a certified workshop teacher. And, Victoria and both Patricia said as well, is these layers that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so after every 2-day that I do, I've got this, I'm all good. And then I go through another 2-day, and it's like, wow, I learned something else about myself. And, we can just take all of those layers and all of that experience, and we take it and we give it out to our clients and our attendees. And, Victoria touched a bit on that closing circle after the first week. And you have to experience the closeness you have with these other people in the room. It's like you're so happy, but you're heartbroken because that beautiful energy that you've been in for that first week, you don't want to leave it. It is just so emotional. It's so amazing. It's just a beautiful experience.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel, did you find that you were able to go home and start your workshops right away?
Well, touching on what Chris had shared, like a little bit of an energy hangover after, of course, right? Because now we're back into, our mundane worlds where no one can understand why you're like a fairy running around with all this beautiful energy. But I just wanted to add that the tools you lead with, it's hard to really believe that after that many days of training that you're set forth and you're free and you're like, wow, I'm a teacher, what? But the reality is this: we all come from walks of life that we're already kind of teachers, but we just don't know we are yet. So the experience with Victoria, if I go back to that week, is the reality of it, how real it was, how she didn't, there was a moment where I was a little fearful. I'm like, wow, this lady has got a book and she's amazing and she's gonna, what is she gonna do? She's gonna be real. That's what solidified it for me, was that she didn't come off as the super smart person in the room. She came off as that loving, caring person who just wanted to help you get through that moment. And what a blessing it was to have that. So for anyone considering coming and taking on this training, I wouldn't be the teacher I am today without Victoria. Absolutely. So it's just extremely real. And I loved it.
All right. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, another important part of the training, this is a little more back into some left brain things here, but when Louise first approved the training, it was with a hug and a handshake. And, that was absolutely fine at that time. But as time went on, it was clear that, business was changing, the internet was growing and growing, and all the things that are happening, internationally and with the internet, etc. And when Louise's movie came out, the You Can Heal Your Life movie, then their trademark lawyer called us and said, look, Hay House is going to be trademarking You Can Heal Your Life and Heal Your Life when we know you're training people, and we think it's time for you to have a more, legal association. And so at that time in 2008, which it officially started in 2009, we started an agreement with Hay House. My husband Rick and I have the master agreement, and then all the trainers like Victoria have the other agreement as well through us, and all the trainees. So it's an official licensing program, and it adds another level of really professionalism to the certification, because you do get a certificate at the end.
Yeah.
But the licensing is really your official, connection back to Hay House. And what that entails is that you can use all the materials, and there's a logo that's also trademarked worldwide now, so you can use that, and you can use the term Heal Your Life. Now, it's a little tough to try and keep all of that just within our Heal Your Life family, we've discovered, but we do our best if we find that somebody's using Heal Your Life and they're not one of the people that have trained with us, that we just very lovingly and gently say, this is trademarked through Hay House, and so you need to do the training through us to be able to use it. But it gives you that association with the trademarks and also all the materials and the logo. And the licensing is $99 a year, which is a little more than that Canadian at this point. But it's a really important part of the program, and we have our licensing agreement now through 2028, I think it is, with Hay House. So, we've got a long time here to keep working with that, and it's just been renewed, so I'm sure it would be renewed again. So that's part of the license and the official part that you will be offered at the training. And Victoria will tell you much more about that, on the day that you discuss the licensing. And then also for those in the U.S. and Canada, Hay House required us, and my husband and I, our company is actually Heart Inspired Presentations, but Hay House required us to get a group policy for insurance, which covers you professionally and personally. So, if somebody at a venue slips and falls or something, you're covered. And what's lovely, we've had this insurance for 10 years, there's no claims, because the work is carried out so lovingly and beautifully that we don't need to have them. But Hay House still required it, and that is $150 a year. But people, before we had that particular group, insurance, people were paying over $300 a year for not even as good coverage. So it's really, we've gotten a very, very good group policy, and as far as we know, it's not going to be increasing. But I do wanted to bring out that part because it's an important piece of the program.
Thing to be officially licensed.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And it's so great to, be authorized by Hay House and approved by Louise Hay. And of course, to have all of those pieces so well taken care of by Heart Inspired Presentations. They handle all of the licensing and insurance every year. And I'm just here to support you doing the teaching part.
Great. And we also have representation at some of the Heal Your Life or the Hay House Live kinds of experiences. I know there was just an I Can Do It in the UK. Victoria was just in Houston at the Hay House Live event there. And so we had a table there for people to learn more about not only the training, but also the workshop leaders and the coaches. So, we do show up at some of the Hay House events to be able to promote you as well. And
yes.
That's really exciting.
I wanted to mention one more thing about promoting you. Chris and I have put together a little program where we are able to record some video with you at the training that you can use for your marketing, as well as doing headshots for you so that you can use those in your marketing. We want to make sure you have everything that you have. I've also started a podcast called Heal Your Life Talk Radio Show, which is now in 15 countries. And I absolutely love having Heal Your Life teachers and coaches on there as guests to talk about things that they've faced in their life and how Heal Your Life has helped them overcome that adversity. And so all of that is available to you as well. There's just value, family, and support everywhere.
Yeah, there are just a lot of resources, and one of the other ones that we offer after you've done the training and you are licensed, it's a Getting Started series, And it's a little series with tips every few days to help you, to do your meditations, to do your affirmations, to do your workshop planning, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a little bit every few days to remind you, hey, okay, you can do a little bit today. And then also one other resource that you can use any of these videos, in addition to the ones that they're going to be recording at the training, we have a YouTube channel. And so I'm putting that up right now. And the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Heal Your Life, of course. And we have, I think, probably about 50 Heal Your Life videos on there at this point. There's affirmations for loving yourself. There's some of Louise's videos that are actually her audios. And we've got like 100,000 views of the 101 Power Thoughts, which I think is pretty cool. So you can go there and be able to get some videos that you can also share with your workshop participants or your coaching clients if you're doing the coaching as well. And, it's just something like during the week that could give them a little bit of a boost. So that's another one. And we keep coming up with more things, don't we? So
yes. Well, and that's just it, Patricia, is that Louise's work is alive and well, and her legacy continues. And we will be carrying it forward, I'm sure, for generations. Just the foundation of this work is so strong and so relatable.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me just ask if there are any more questions that you would like to post. We want to give you an opportunity for that to happen at this point. And then we'll just do a little bit of closing as well. And of course, you can always email Victoria afterwards and ask her any questions. My email's on there as well, and I can answer any questions you have also. So next March 21st to the 28th, in the warmest city in Canada.
Yes, there'll be no snow, there'll be green grass, there'll be cherry blossoms. It'll be spectacular. So don't plan on going skating, because that won't be happening.
Well, and I've heard that Victoria, the city, is just a beautiful, I haven't been there, but I've heard that it is very beautiful. So, okay, and Sarah is saying, I would love to be a part of your family to continue Louise's path. We would absolutely love for you to come and do the training as well. And if any of you, if you're from another country, if you need a visa, because sometimes people from other countries need a visa, we're happy to provide a visa letter. And that's always worked in the past. So, feel free to ask for that if it's something that you need. Okay. All right. Okay. So for closing, let me just stop and ask if Victoria, Chris, or Rachel has anything they would like to close with. Any final comments?
I really do look forward to meeting all the future Heal Your Life teacher training and coaches next March 2020 in Victoria. We'll experience the magic that we all been raving about. Thank you.
And as you would have heard from Victoria, Patricia, and Rachel as well, the hotel, the venue, you're right on the ocean. You can just walk and be in this beautiful environment inside the training, but also outside. It is truly breathtaking.
Yeah, very special.
Okay, and I just wanted to thank you all for being on the call, first of all, and for all of the people who are on the panel. I want to thank you too, as well as just to let you know there is an optional way to register. I do have a point of sale machine, just like you would have at your doctor's office or dentist or wherever you would go, so I can process your deposit that way. The payment schedule for the additional 2 payments right now is set up for November and for February. Now I realize that we're already into November, so if anybody needs that adjusted to January, just let me know and I can make that adjustment so that there's January and February payments. I'm happy to work with you in any way that we need to do to have you be able to attend this training and really experience this miracle in your life, this transformational training, and then take it forward to your corner of the world as well.
Great, thank you so much. So, and we are so blessed to have Victoria teaching and sharing all this amazing work in Canada, and also Chris and Rachel for assisting. And we thank all of you who are on the webinar and those who will be listening afterwards. We thank you for, being enthusiastic enough about Louise's work to want to join the training. And we encourage you to keep using her techniques, and just know that, as you keep going, you will love yourself more and more. and you will find more and more miracles in your life. So thank you again for joining us. If you want to listen to this again, we will be sending out the recording to everyone. Blessings to you for the rest of your day and week, and they look forward to meeting you in March.
Yes.
Wonderful. And as Louise would say, all is well, and so
All is well. And
Yes.
so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on today's podcast. We hope that you learned tips to help you heal your life even more. For more information on Heal Your Life Workshop Teacher and Coach Training, please visit thetraining.ca. For more information on me, your host, Victoria Johnson, please visit victoriajohnson.org. And please order my book on Amazon. Do that and then some. Transform feelings of less than to more than enough. Thanks for joining us.